From Interior Alaska's most trusted news source, this is the Fbx Evening News.
Good evening and thank you for joining us. Last night we told you about nonprofit agencies being greatly affected by statewide budget cuts.
That's right. Tonight we continue our look at two more agencies that are going to have tough times to come midsummer.
When the news came, the first course of action was to gather all agencies affected together and discuss the impacts. The Salvation Army says the cuts will mean a drastic change for their agency.
Yeah, there are definitely some difficulties in Fairbanks. This just adds to it. We are all trying to, we work together, all the agencies in this town work very closely together to meet the most needs in this community. And this is going to be, because this impacts so many agencies in this community, it's going to hit this community really hard. The homeless children have trouble keeping up in school. They drop out. Dropouts commit crimes. They go to jail, and all of a sudden we're looking at $50,000 per person that is down the road for incarceration.
Another member of the group is Kara Carlson. She is the coordinator for the Fairbanks Housing and Homeless Coalition, and she paints an even bleaker picture.
The impact is going to be detrimental. It's not just these agencies that you see here at the table. It's almost every social service agency that serves people who are homeless or at risk of being homeless. I think their services are going to increase, and we're going to have people who need housing that aren't going to have that, and who are going to deal with some significant consequences, who may die, who may commit crimes to have a warm place to stay, who are hanging out in people's businesses and on their doorsteps because they have nowhere else to go.
The group is currently forming plans to go to Juneau to meet with legislators and convince them to find another way to shave the budget without cutting funds to these agencies. If not, even more dire times are possibly ahead for the homeless and the needy. Mike Schultz reporting.
Officials with the Department of Energy have been testifying before the U.S. Senate this week on a number of issues. Alaska U.S. Senator Lisa Murkowski chaired a hearing yesterday on the DOE's 2016 budget. She said there has been a lot of talk about North America energy independence, yet the U.S. has recently cut the energy supply within its own borders.
I am going to be looking forward to really pushing this administration when we're talking about how we work to provide for the national security aims as set out in this administration's own policy. When we're saying no to Keystone, we're shutting off Alaska. I want to make sure that this is meaningful and not just words on paper.
Senators Lisa Murkowski and Dan Sullivan today joined 91 other United States senators by voting in support of Dr. Ashton Carter's nomination to be America's next Secretary of Defense. Carter's nomination was confirmed by the Senate on a 93-5 vote. Murkowski met with him yesterday, calling Carter intelligent and a capable candidate to oversee the Pentagon. In a release issued following the vote, Murkowski thanked Carter for the visit and added that she looks forward to him hosting him in Alaska. Sullivan, a member of the Armed Services Committee, says Dr. Carter can be a strong voice for the change within the Obama administration. However, the freshman senator cautioned that changing senior officials at the Pentagon will not lead to what is really needed, a quote, engaged American leadership throughout the world.
The Fairbanks International Airport has completed its master plan to help identify long-term capital improvements. The federal government requires a plan every 10 years. The last proposal focused on the commercial side, including the new terminal, reconstructed runways, and de-icing pads. The general aviation side of the airport gets the attention this time, with improvement plans to redo the pavement on the runways and taxiways, as well as lease lot expansions. Airport manager Jesse Vanderzanden says the airport is in a great position right now, economically speaking, and they're keeping up with the changes.
We're growing at a rate of about 2 to 3% a year, so we are actually exceeding the forecasts in the master plan. We've done a lot of improvements over the past 10 years at the airport, and so our pavement is in excellent shape, our facilities are in excellent shape, so we're actually doing quite well from a capital perspective.
All right, when we come back, there was an invasion of flying robots last night at the Westmark. Actually, it was a part of their Science for Alaska series.
Okay. Also, it's time once again for this week's Fairbanks Flavor with a Valentine theme. See what Lisa is cooking for us tonight. Stay with us. And welcome back. Flying robots drew in a crowd for the 4th presentation of the Science for Alaska series. The Westmark Gold Room was packed as presenter Sean Barbary discussed the scientific applications of drones in Alaska. Unmanned aircraft can be used to gather photographs as well as measurements from the atmosphere, volcanoes, and wildfires. The Science for Alaska series shares scientific research and topics with the community thanks to expert speakers. Barbary is a graduate student at the Geophysical Institute and works with data from drones such as photographs and measurements. He says he's not sure where the future of this technology is headed since it's so hard to predict.
One of the points I really want to emphasize in my talk is that people aren't very good at projecting where technology is going to go, even in 5 years. If you look at cell phone technology or computer technology, there are a lot of things that come together to produce some sort of technology product that allows us to interact in ways that we hadn't expected previously. So I don't know. The answer is I don't know. I'm really excited to see where it lands in 5 years.
A Fairbanks man pleaded guilty to reduced charges this morning in Fairbanks Superior Court. 37-year-old Brandon Barron entered the plea to a single count of drug possession with intent to distribute. Police say Barron sold methamphetamines to an informant during a controlled buy. According to prosecutors, the amount sold was less than a gram of meth, but they said Barron has a long-standing criminal history. Today in court, both the prosecutors and defense agreed to a sentence of 4 years suspended jail time and 2 years probation. However, in reviewing Barron's criminal history, which includes felony assaults, burglary, and other drug charges, that sentence wasn't readily accepted by Judge Blankenship. Should the judge not accept the sentence, Barron is free to withdraw his guilty plea. Now another hearing in the case was scheduled for May.
And now it's time for this week's edition of Fairbanks Flavor. What's Lisa cooking for us tonight? Well, it smells like love.
Buonasera, welcome to Fairbanks Flavor. I'm Lisa Gambardella, and this is my kitchen downtown at Gambardella's Pasta Bella. Today we're making a delicious clam pizza. We're going to start with some oil in a hot pan and some fresh garlic and let that toast. This is an aphrodisiac pizza. Be careful, you might fall in love. Get those in there. They toast a little. Put some canned clams in there. Woo! Some white wine. We're off to a great start. Some fresh lemon juice. Aphrodisiac foods historically are very nutritious, like items from the sea like clams. Put some fresh parsley in there. Also, some hot red peppers, which increases circulation. Another aphrodisiac item is something spicy. A little bit of clam juice. Because we're going to use this on a pizza, I want to thicken it with a little bit of cornstarch. The cornstarch needs to boil to activate and make it thick. Okay, we're going to add some butter. Makes everything better. And some steamer clams in there. And we've got our finished sauce here. It's been reducing a little bit, so you see it's nice and thick. So it's going to hold together nicely on the pizza. Look at that. That looks great. Let's get that in the oven. Fall in love over a clam pizza at Gambardella's Pasta Bella. See our recipes at webcenter11.com. Buonasera.
Brought to you by Gambardella's Pasta Bella.
So
Bon
good.
appetit, Stephanie.
Oh my goodness.
Valentine's.
Oh, that is good. And the pizza's even better. I think we got to try that pizza last year.
Oui.
And it was so good.
Oui.
I ended up taking it all home. I can't take you seriously. Okay, Joe Cook is next with important news regarding the UAF volleyball program.
Je t'aime.
Hello, Interior Alaska. Joe Cook here in the sports seat for you this evening with your Thursday sports. Developing news today, the UAF Athletic Department has issued a notice to terminate the contract of UAF volleyball coach Mallory Larrañaga. The Athletic Department made the decision today after receiving confidential reports of self-reported recruiting violations. UAF received the reports January 13th. Assistant coach Jamie Folan's contract will not be renewed in June as well. Both are former UAF players. Larrañaga is the only All-American in the volleyball program for Alaska. She was inducted in the Nanac Hall of Fame in 2010. She was assistant coach for 2 seasons before leading the program the past 2 years. Her record is 7-48 as a head coach. We'll have more details on Webster11.com and in tomorrow's sportscast as they become available. And now our Yukon Quest report. The top mushers have left Dawson City. Brent Sass and Alan Moore is seen here. They are on their way to Eagle, the Alaskan side of the Yukon Quest. The 1,000-mile dog sled race continues. Sass left early this morning, and Moore was right behind him trying to keep pace. As far as the current standings, Sass and Moore are at the top, much like last year. Hunef, Jor Uslam, and Ed Hopkins round out the top 5. They are still in Dawson. Ray Reddington Jr. of Knik, Alaska, the top rookie for this race, he scratched this morning in Dawson. This weekend is senior weekend for the Alaska Nanac hockey team. The Nanacs will host the Minnesota State Mavericks, the #1 team in the nation, this Friday and Saturday at the Carlson Center. This could be an epic series. Alaska split with the Mavs in January, handing the Mavs their only home conference loss. The Mavs, they haven't lost since then. Lathrop product Stephen Williams, he returns to Fairbanks as well after sweeping the Lakers. Alaska is 10-2-1 when scoring first, so look for that this weekend. UAF will honor 7 seniors this weekend as well, and they also kick off Hockey Week in Fairbanks. Here's one of the seniors reflecting.
Recognizing their speed that they can play with, and realizing that we can play with them.
You know, we've lost a few, but it's been 1-goal game, so I think that's just the only downside.
Obviously, we get along really well. There'll be times where we don't, but that's when you kind of prosper and work with your friendship and stuff like that. And they're just going to be my friends for life, pretty much, I guess.
Fairbanks Ice Dogs are on the road this weekend. They will face the Kenai River Brown Bears again. Last weekend, the Ice Dogs clinched the Raven Alaskan Cup after sweeping the Brown Bears at home. Fairbanks will try to make up some ground in the overall NAHL standings. After this series, they'll have 4 games at home. The Ice Dogs are 13-3, and they are 1 point behind the Minnesota Wilderness for the Midwest Division lead with 63 points. Austin, the Bruins in the Central Division, they have 63. Topeka has 65 in the South, and Janesville has 73 in the North, leading the league. Fairbanks has 14 games left in the regular season. The NCAA State Hockey Tournament started today at the Curtis Menard Sports Complex in Wasilla. The West Valley Wolfpack, they avenged 2 earlier season losses to Service by winning decisively 4-0 in the first round. Keel Simon made 17 saves for the No-No. Stasi Skorowski, Zach Saverai, Gabe Rankin, and Richie Stickles scored for the Pack. They will play the South Wasilla winner Friday at 7:30. North Pole, they faced West Anchorage, and it was tied 1-1 after 1, but Kevin Hodson of West scored the game winner with 3 minutes left, and the Eagles escaped with a 2-1 win. The West Valley Wolfpack girls basketball team remains undefeated despite another close game. Lathrop looking for the upset Wednesday night at home. They rallied from a 17-6 deficit in the first quarter. They led West Valley 28-26 at the break. It's the first time the Pack have trailed at the half all season long. West Valley, though, they battled back, and the Ruthie Hebert buzzer beater gave them a 39-35 lead going into the fourth quarter. Jana Hadukovic, she scores 14 points, including 2 during an 8-0 run to start the fourth for the Mutes. They had a 4-point lead. Carly Fitzgerald, she had 9 points as well, but West Valley hit some crucial shots down the stretch, including a clutch bucket from Hebert with 30 seconds left to give West Valley a 44-43 lead. She had a game-high 20 points. After a foul and a technical foul on the dead ball on Lathrop, Carly Marquez hits 4 of 5 from the line and seals it, a 48-46 win for West Valley. They are now 17-0.
We just got to keep playing our game. We can't play to their tempo. We got to play to our tempo. So in the beginning of the game, we played really, really well, and then we started playing their game, and then we pulled it out.
I think because we stay composed is the reason why we won. Like last year, we would have probably lost it because of our mentality, but this year we definitely stayed strong, and that's what helped us win.
In the boys' games, the third meeting between the 2 crosstown rivals. Lathrop boys won 85-83 in overtime their last meeting. It was close in the first half as usual. Lathrop's Kobe Titus Milk was a force in the paint, scoring 10 of his 13 points in the first half. West Valley was right there, though. A Daniel Hornbuckle 3 made it a 29-19 game. But Hornbuckle, he would go down in the second quarter. He landed awkwardly, and he was being helped off the floor. An apparent Achilles injury. The hope is he may be back by regionals. West Valley couldn't recover after losing the lead and score in the state. Lathrop went on a 14-4 run in the third quarter. Tyrell Peterson, he had 15 for West Valley, but Cole Berner had 15 of his game high, 17 points in the second half for Lathrop. And the Malamutes win 58-40. They improved to 4-0 in the MAC and 12-7 overall. And that's a wrap for sports. Mike Schultz is next with your full weather forecast, and we'll catch you next time.
Hey everyone, welcome back into our Thursday night edition of the Fbx Evening News. Mike Schultz with you once again, taking a look at the weather. It was a beautiful day across the interior. Even though it was only 9 degrees, it felt a lot warmer, and we're looking at really warm temperatures heading into the weekend. We'll tell you about that just a little bit. Our photograph for tonight, a beautiful sunrise captured by Colleen Sackinger. Sunrise at UAF with just once again gorgeous colors. And as always, if you have a photograph to share, send it to photos@ktvf11.com and we'll share it with the rest of the audience. Your numbers look like this. Today's high 7 above. The current temperature is 7 above. The low last night 1 above. The record high was 44 in 1942. Record low 53 below in 1932. Sunrise and sunset about 8 hours and 18 minutes of daylight. That's a gain of 7 minutes from yesterday. Excuse me. And our satellite and radar, again, you can get a big overall picture of the flow coming out of the south and southeast, but not a whole lot of moisture with it. There are temperatures, like I said, warming up. It's really warming up over southeast Alaska, up into the mid to upper 40s. And again, a lot of rain and moisture moving across southeast Alaska, but that's about it. Elsewhere across the states, it looks like this. And you can see the rain is falling around Juneau and Ketchikan, while around the Anchorage Bowl, we're looking at mainly partly cloudy to clear skies in the Anchorage area. Some showers around Kodiak, 40 degrees there, Cold Bay at 39. Up and down the west coast, single digits around Nome, and then 21 below at Barrow, a little cold pocket there. And around the Fort Yukon area, 8 degrees below zero and mainly partly cloudy skies. In lower 48 weather, more rain falling across the Pacific Northwest, but it doesn't go any further than that. Right on down the rest of the west coast, temperatures gorgeous in the 70s all the way over there, and 62 degrees at Denver with only 55 at Dallas. A chilly 10-degree reading from Minneapolis. Around Chicago, looking at 17 degrees. New York at 40 and partly cloudy skies. On the satellite and radar, you can see a few snow showers dropping down way down to the south, but just kind of diminishing at the end of the satellite run there. That's the jet stream really showing up really well. And you can see the jet stream once again moving across the north and west part of the country. And again, not a whole lot of moisture with that, so things are looking pretty good. The overall picture is for warm temperatures to continue over California, 10 to 20 degrees above normal for this time of year. Really beautiful weather. And again, the jet stream roaring from the northwest to the southeast all the way across the entire lower 48 with the snow showers, the Great Lakes. Nice weather down to the south and very nice up and down the west coast. Well, back to Alaska for tomorrow. Mostly clear skies for Barrow, scattered snow showers for the Nome area, and just an isolated flurry here in the Fort Yukon area, or in the Fort Yukon area, I should say. Over southeast or south central sections, cloudy skies in Fairbanks, partly cloudy skies at Healy and Delta, while over the southeast, look at the temperature, 48 degrees at Ketchikan tomorrow, and rain falling all the way from Juneau down to Ketchikan. Over the southwest part of the state, it looks like it's for the most part rain for Cold Bay, cloudy skies at Bethel, rain showers for Kodiak, and over the south central regions, looking at mostly cloudy at Homer, partly cloudy at Anchorage, and rain and snow for Valdez. Okay, time once again for our kids' weather. All this week talking with the kids and the teacher from Watershed School. Tonight, it's the teacher.
Hello, I'm Miss Perez, and this is my 6th grade class at the Watershed Charter School. And we have a weather fact to share with you. Class, did you know that the cleanest air on Earth is at the South Pole? It's 10 times cleaner than that at the North Pole.
They are amazed, yeah. Thanks to Mount McKinley Bank for sponsoring our kids' weather. And next week, the kids are going to be taking a little bit of a break for the holiday on Monday, so we're just going to have weather facts all week long. And so we'll be looking forward to that. And our real quick look at our road conditions on the Dalton and Elliott highways, icy patches, packed snow, some drifting snow. The same for all the highways leading in and out of the Fairbanks area, snow on some of the roadways, black ice, and again, some drifting snow possible in some of the areas. Keep that in mind. Okay, your forecast for the remainder of the night, 4 degrees below zero, mostly cloudy skies, some mild temperatures. Tomorrow's forecast, even better than today, 12 above for the high. And look at the extended forecast. Would you believe 30 degrees by next Tuesday? How about that? Temperatures really warming up, which means the roads will be getting very slick once again. Overnight lows will also be warming nicely into the teens above zero. I can't see it below, but above.
30. That's the key word. I didn't hear anything else after 30.
Isn't that cool? That's great.
That is amazing.
Well, no, that's warm. It's not cool.
It's great, yeah.
It's good.
You're true. You're right. Yeah.
That is, I mean, that's definitely awesome. So maybe you stuck your neck out at the right time where...
Oh, we'll see.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. All right, that'll wrap up this edition of the Fbx Evening News. We are glad you could join us.
Tonight on NBC Nightly News, world leaders have reached a ceasefire in Ukraine after marathon talks. That's next with Lester Holt.
That's good news. Join us here 6 days a week at 6 to 11 and online anytime at webcenter11.com.
From all of us here at the News Center, have a great night.
Good night.